Go through. We've got a couple of questions for each of you. I'll go back and forth. Dr. Donica, I'm going to give you the opportunity first to introduce yourself. So please take it away.
Thanks, Jim. First, I would like to say thank you for the three chambers to work together to bringing this forum in front of us. It's so nice to finally sit down after the last couple of years to be able to be in one place to hear issues discussed in a manner that we're not listening to somebody remote on a Zoom call. To introduce myself, I've spent the last 35 years living here in Rockingham County, working as a veterinarian, working with people from all walks of life to solve problems and issues. Initially, as a partner at Reedsville Veterinary Hospital, running the roads of Rockingham County, working on a lot of different farms. And then I worked for a very large international pharmaceutical company. In the last 7 years, I started a company with three others that we developed and created and brought a solution to the veterinary medical device market that's now being sold nationwide. And that business background is what propelled me to run for mayor of the city of Reedsville 25 years ago. During the last 25 years, I've served 16 years as the mayor of the city of Reedsville. That has taught me a lot about public service in the public sector. It also taught me that there has to be a lot more cooperation and corroboration if we're going to succeed in addressing a number of very pressing issues that we're dealing with. As a mayor interacting with many city council members, as well as different city managers, as well as different members of the public-private sector, we work to bring a regional senior center to Reedsville. We work to create the second industrial park for the city of Reedsville so that we could attract other industries to make up for the gap of employment that was created by American leaving and eventually Miller leaving. We also worked together to negotiate a water deal, which 20 years later still stands in place so that it continues to reap a good revenue benefit for the city of Reedsville. By working together, collaborating, and cooperating, we can achieve a lot here in Rockingham County. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pirtle.
Thank you, Jim. First, I'd like to thank the three chambers for having us here tonight. It's a great opportunity for the citizens here and those watching online to see the candidates and understand exactly their positions. My name is Reese Pirtle. I'm the Republican candidate for North Carolina House. I'm a product of Rockingham County. I grew up in Eden. I'm a product of the county school system. I went to Moorhead High School, and then I went off up to Appalachian State University, where my daddy gave me 4 years to get out of there. And I graduated from up there, and I come back and joined the police department in Eden. My degree was in criminal justice, and I worked my way through the police department, holding a variety of positions from 1990 until 2002, at which point in time I was appointed to the second in command. And in 2009, I was appointed police chief. I retired in 2018 from the police department with 30 years service. And although that don't add up to 30, I saved my sick time, so I got out early. But in 2016, I was elected to the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners. For 1 year, I was a police commissioner and a police chief and a commissioner. I was re-elected in 2020 to county commissioner. I was appointed to the House in 2021 when Representative Carter passed away unexpectedly, and that was in mid-August, and that long session lasted from mid-August to end of March. So I pulled about 7 months, and I stayed, of course, for the short session. I never missed a vote the entire time I was there. I married my wife Val, was an educator in the public school system for 32 years. We have an 18-year-old daughter at Appalachian State University, and I'm very proud of everything that she's accomplished. And it's just been an honor and a privilege to serve the people of Rockingham County. Thank you.
Thank you. Our first question, you may recognize. In Rockingham County, small businesses and entrepreneurship are the driving force for economic development and job creation. What are your top 3 priorities for small business if you were elected? We're going to start with you, Mr.
I think one of the things is going to have to be education. And when I say that, I'm talking about connecting our high schools and our community college with workforce development. The keys to any success in small business is having the expertise or the knowledge to start it up. Now, we have a great small business program here at RCC, but we also have to catch those kids. Not everybody's designed to go to college. Some folks are just wired different. We found that out in the pandemic. And I think we need to capture that group of kids at the county level. Of course, there's always fallback to deregulation. We need to get out of their way. Government needs to get out of small businesses' way, allow them to operate without needless regulation. But we also, and perhaps the biggest thing is provide an environment for business to grow. At the state level, we don't create jobs. We create an environment for the jobs to come to North Carolina and to grow. And not just the big ones, but the small jobs, the small businesses. And we do that by keeping our taxes low, having low corporate taxes, but also so that folks can have more money in their pocket to invest in those small businesses. And we're a growing state. About 90,000 people a year come to North Carolina, one of the fastest growing states in the United States. And we need to be an inviting state. And I think we've done that because we've been recognized by Forbes magazine as the most business-friendly state in the United States. And that's not by accident. That's by a lot of work by the North Carolina legislature. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Donaker, the same question. In Rockingham County,
You don't
small
have
business.
to repeat it.
Okay.
You don't have to repeat it. Thank you.
Very good.
Right out of the gate, I would recommend as a small business owner that we need to look real hard at these service taxes that were added in 2016 by the legislature. It is nickel and diming our small businesses. We have to look real hard at that. We have to look at the 2% grocery tax that we're all getting, again, nickel and dime when we walk out of the grocery store. Secondly, what we should do is fully fund our educational system. We have a machining lab at Reidsville High School that we were able to pull together by cooperating with Golden Leaf. That should be in every one of the high schools. If we followed the directive for the Leandro decision, we would have between $40 and $40 million coming into our school system in Rockingham County. That's how we create a great educational base in our county schools, and it starts at Raleigh. And the last one is it will help a lot of small business owners to expand Medicaid. All those businesses that have 49 employees or fewer have the opportunity for their lower wage employees to be able to take part in an expanded Medicaid. That would help a lot of small businesses. More than once, we would have a very good employee at Reidsville Veterinary Hospital leave because even though they like working for us better, they went somewhere else because there were medical benefits, even though they had to travel further, even though they may actually had to take a cut in pay, because they had those medical benefits, they walked away. And for that reason, small businesses would benefit a lot from expanding Medicaid and also getting rid of these service taxes where we have to interact with our accountants on a more frequent basis, on a quarterly basis, almost as if we had to hire another employee.
Thank you. I'm going to stay right with you, Dr. Donaker, for this next question. Discuss what principles and values will guide your decision on funding public education in North Carolina.
That's a really good question. And I kind of touched on it on my last answer. We need to step up to the plate. We, being the legislature, need to step up to the plate to fully fund the Leandro decision so that adequate funds are provided at the local level, directed by our county educational board, so that we can educate as many students in many different ways as possible. And this takes infrastructure improvements. This takes putting a machinery lab in each 4 of the high schools. It puts in welding to have access to that. There is a lot of renovation that has to occur. We also have to make a better working environment and teaching environment for our teachers. When we start looking at comparable wage employment amounts for our teachers, and we're comparing ourselves to Alabama, which is a much poorer state, it tells me that our teachers aren't being properly paid. Also, I get reminded every time I go into a Target and I'll see a teacher buying their supplies for the next day. Again, that is a red flag saying that we are underperforming, the legislature is, when it comes to funding our community schools in Rockingham County. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Pearl, same question. Discuss what principles and values will guide your decision on funding public education in North Carolina.
Values, doing the right thing. I'm a firm believer in choice. I think choice brings competitiveness and raises the bar on performance. Simply throwing money at the school system without having accountability doesn't solve any problems. We've been doing that for a long time, and our results have not reflected any positive outcome. I believe in vouchers. Socioeconomic position shouldn't impact your ability to get an education. You should have an opportunity to go to a private school, not because your family is wealthy, but because there's an opportunity through a voucher system. We've addressed this with school teacher pay. Over the last biennial budget, I think it's over 9% increase in teacher pay. Is there some things that I would like to change in it? Yeah. I would love to see that we address the pay rate for teachers with more experience. When a teacher reaches 25 years, they're pretty much done. They're there. And a lot of teachers start when they're 21 years old, 22 years old. They have value when they're 51 years old. It's going to be a while before they retire. They can be the mentors to those teachers that are just starting. They're going to be the ones that give them guidance and how they prepare prepare their lessons to deal with their children. One of the things I think that we've done really well too is we've tried to level the playing field with our supplements. With some of the rural counties, teachers paid the same. A second grade teacher in Murphy's paid the same thing they are in Manio, but the supplement's different. And for some of the rural poor counties, that supplement makes a difference on the quality of educator that you get, especially when it comes to a STEM program, especially when it comes to mathematics. But we also, one of the things we have to do is we have to let the parents back in, let them be a part of their child's education. And that's so important. They need to engage, and we got to allow them to engage. It's their child.
Thank you. Now there's an opportunity for both of you to provide a closing comment. Mr. Pearl, we're going to start with you.
Thank you. The only job I've ever really known is service. I was a police officer, and that's a service-driven industry. I was a county commissioner, and now in the North Carolina House. I've only helped people. When they call with a quality of life issue, just because it may not be, when I was a police chief, it may have not been a police matter, but I tried to address it. And I didn't care whether they supported me, whether they liked me as a police chief. I didn't care whether they voted for me as a county commissioner or contributed to my campaign, and I don't care now as a member of the House. I'm trying to help the people in our community. I think I did that as a county commissioner. I was there when we brought in over $990 million of investment into our county with economic growth and almost 1,700 jobs. And that number is going to rise during my tenure. That number is going to continue to rise. I think I've done that as a member of the House. One of the things that I did in leadership is I tried to play well with others. I did it as a police chief. I did it as a county commissioner. And in the North Carolina House, one of the first things I did was working on the budget. I went out to each municipality and found out what their needs were, what their unfunded needs were, and what monies we had available at the state level to help them with their needs. And I secured over $67 million in the biennial budget for those needs. And I've always said, a win for anywhere in Rockingham County is a win for everywhere in Rockingham County. And I've been practicing that since I was a police chief, collaborating with other chiefs and the sheriff. I practiced that as a commissioner. When I was the chairman of the commissioner, first thing I did was get everybody in the same room to talk about a particular topic. And the first one was the quarter-cent sales tax, just so that we would build those relationships. So when that ask was needed, you felt comfortable making it. I'm Reese Pirtle. I'm running for the North Carolina House, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Dr. Donaker, closing comment, please.
Sure. I'd like to thank you, Jim, and Debbie for running this forum as well as you have. You've kept everybody within their guidelines and has moved it along very well. Thank you very much. For Rockingham County, we need a representative that can go down there and work with everybody. It reminds me of what one person has told me that said, Jay, we want somebody to recommend represent all of Rockingham County, whether you're from the city, whether you're in the county unincorporated area. We want somebody that will go down there and give voice to what we need in Rockingham County. At the moment, we have a very one single dominant party down in the House. And what happens is there are decisions being made and then they're telegraphed back to us. And this person said, Jay, I want somebody to represent us. I don't want to be ruled. And that's where I'm coming in. I think with the depth and breadth of my experience, there are going to be a lot of issues that are going to bubble up at the legislature that I would work with anybody on either side of the aisle so that we can arrive at a middle-of-the-road solution that will benefit as many people in Rockingham County as possible. Sometimes you'll see that I'll vote for a Democrat idea, sometimes a Republican idea. The key is the middle-of-the-road, common-sense solutions are usually the practical ones and the ones that can be implemented to address the issue, such as expanding Medicaid across the finish line so that we get the kind of dollars that we need to keep our hospitals sustained here in Rockingham County. Another issue, we have a dwindling population of volunteer firefighters. We have to do something so that we start getting the next generation involved. Third thing that we need to address is we have an educational lottery that is a misnomer. We have to figure out very quickly what we can do so more dollars can come from that lottery to our county school board so they can put it where it truly is needed to be used. I'm Jay Donaker. I'm running for NC House District 65. I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, and let's give a round for all of the candidates.